Alright y'all, welcome back to Common Arms channel. So today's reaction video is going to be another recommendation that y'all have sent to me. This one I'm not familiar with at all, so it's going to be hard for me to sort of give commentary as far as my experiences, because I can't really compare this to anything, because as far as I know the US military doesn't have anything like this. And of course what I'm talking about is the Royal Navy's field gun competition. Now from my understanding they stopped doing this in 1999. So I just found the last one, the one that took place in '99. So I'm going to be checking out that one. But I looked it up, and it seems like it started back in 1907, and then from there they just kept doing it. It's changed slightly, but this is the latest version. I've seen another video. So from what I've seen, it seems pretty strange. Not gonna lie, it's very strange. So I've researched it, and I saw a little clip from one of the other videos. And from what I've seen, it's pretty strange. So again, I can't really compare it to anything, but if y'all haven't seen this, it's going to be pretty interesting for you to check out as well. So we'll get right into it. And again, you're going to be kind of surprised if you haven't heard of this before, because I was definitely surprised. Okay, so right off the bat, it sort of starts like pretty ceremoniously, and from the research that I've gathered, again, this started back in 1907, but it sort of originates from the Boer War, and back then, I guess they carried their cannons. I think they're called their 12-pound cannons. They carried those like long distances and end up setting them up pretty quickly and use them against the Boers during the Boer War. So they used to do demonstrations after the war, and then I guess it kind of evolved into this, from my understanding. But yeah, it's all very ceremoniously. It's got a pretty rich history. So I'm not gonna try and hate on it too much, even though some of it does look a little strange. It's mainly just strange because you wouldn't expect people to be doing this sort of stuff with a cannon or an artillery piece in general. But it's funny, so we'll check it out.
The traditional march on to Hearts of Oak, and the line from it, "Come cheer up, my lads, 'tis to glory we steer," seems particularly apposite tonight. He's had the role for 17 years, and Lieutenant Commander Ken Mathers takes charge of the last run of a competition which has been part of the Royal Tournament since 1907. And the last 36 of some 15,000 men who've taken part in this trial of strength, verve, determination, sheer guts, prepare to give their all. The atmosphere...
So yeah, they pretty much get right into it. Although it's got a lot of history, they pretty much get right into it. I imagine these guys have been warming up a lot, because you'll see some of the stuff they do just, again, like, it doesn't seem like a human body should be capable of doing these things, but they manage it. I definitely know they have to warm up a decent amount, because doing the stuff they do, I wonder how many injuries they actually sustain, because doing the stuff they do, it seems like it'd be pretty rough on the body. But you'll see what I mean.
Is tingling, the tension palpable in the crowd as well as down there on the arena. Now come the two trainers to report they're ready. Petty Officer Mac McShane of the Fleet Air Arm, Chief Petty Officer Pat Patilla of Portsmouth. Each has had the run 6 times, and they can hardly make themselves heard in the noise. The thunder flash is lit, and they'll be off at the bang. First to the home wall. They round it, and then everything has to come over the top of it. Neck and neck at the opening, and they go then forward to the home ramp, where a 28-foot spar is attached to sheer legs, and the first man...
So even again, it's a pretty short distance, like what they're moving. However, with these obstacles and bringing the stuff over the obstacles, again, they're doing stuff that you just wouldn't like. It just looks bizarre to see, because you wouldn't expect people to be doing this with artillery pieces. But if you saw someone doing this, you know, if you're in a war against them and you saw them doing something crazy like this, it's going to send you a message for sure. But yeah, you can see a lot of the stuff they're doing is it just looks bizarre. It's I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Again, I don't think there's anything in the U.S. military that I've seen that even like closely resembles anything like this. Like, yeah, U.S. history isn't that rich or as long as the United Kingdom's, but this sort of originates from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. So, but again, we still don't have anything crazy like this. But we'll keep watching because it's pretty exciting.
We'll get across the 28-foot, supposedly bottomless pit. Up goes the spar with the sheer legs. Who's over first? It's Portsmouth first to land a man. Now in goes the 10-foot spar on the enemy ramp. The wires are established, and here come the men and wheels on the Traveller. The wheels 120 pounds each. The gun carriage will be next, 350 pounds. And the heaviest part is still to come. Absolutely nothing in it at the moment. Here's the barrel. Over 900 pounds. And down it goes into the carriage. Now the...
So that's a pretty strong cable if it's moving all of that. And again, you have to think you're moving something that's 900 pounds and like you could see it like almost landed on the dude's foot. So they're doing a lot of crazy dangerous stuff here. But you can tell they've definitely practiced this many, many times. It's shocking that they've practiced this many times to be this proficient at it, and you know they haven't gotten injured during the process. But again, it's like mind-boggling. All these pieces weighing like hundreds of pounds, and they're doing all this stuff. So it's like if you've seen the World's Strongest Men competition, it looks kind of like that. They're doing like pole vaulting. They're doing like parkour-looking stuff. They're like doing zip line stuff. So this is like encompassing so many like weird different facets of like outdoor stuff that you wouldn't even like consider to be used together. But it's very obvious that they practice this, so they're pretty passionate about it. So, I mean, you have to give props to that at least.
Other wheels, they call them the speedy wheels because they're taken straight to the hole in the enemy wall and everything has to go through there. The limber last to arrive, that's just 345 pounds. The gun and the carriage going through, and the fleet air arm have gained time here. They're ahead of Portsmouth. They get to the enemy line where they have to fire 3 rounds. Limber must arrive there in time. Everybody kneeling. Definitely the fleet air arm just ahead. Have a moment to catch the breath before the run back. Empty cartridges away, and the thoughts of the men who inspired this race with the carrying of naval guns to help relieve Ladysmith from the Boers a century ago must be a million miles away. They came from HMS Powerful and Terrible. Well, who's feeling what now? And the times, 1 minute 25.66 for Portsmouth, 123.8 for the Fleet Air Arm.
Yeah, so you can see they're sort of giving like callbacks to the historical context behind all of this. So, you know, it's not forgotten. It's definitely... they're definitely aware of why they're doing it, so that's pretty honorable. But yeah, they're simulating that they're, you know, they've transported everything, and now they're sending some rounds off. So it's pretty cool. I haven't like really looked this deep into it, but it's cool how they're actually like reenacting, you know, what might have been, you know, what might have taken place back then. So we'll continue watching this, but yeah, it's cool. It's very strange, but it's still really cool.
They're up by 1.86 seconds, no penalty points. The bugler sounds retire, wait for the G note. And it'll be over the enemy wall this time. And the Fleet Air Arm slightly increasing their lead. That's been a good wall for them, the enemy wall. First wheels are away. Limber follows them this time. Head down as the Traveller comes in. Every man doing his job, and that's what is absolutely vital. Over now comes the barrel, and that'll be slung under the sheer legs to await the carriage. Portsmouth are catching up. They may even have gone slightly ahead. Here comes the carriage. Well, there's very, very little in it, but I still think Portsmouth have moved up a little bit. It's in under the gun.
Like, I'm trying to focus on like one person at a time just to see what like one person is doing, and it's just like it's insane because I'm trying to focus on one person and it's like a bunch of ants moving in chorus, and you try and focus on one person and they're still moving super quick. So each person does have like their own specific role, and they definitely know it. But yeah, even trying to like figure it out myself, obviously I've never studied what they're doing, but trying to figure out myself is just they're moving too quickly for me to figure it out.
The last two wheels come, and now they wait for the man called the Flying Angel, who comes with the 10-foot spar, and down will crash the sheer legs. They get to the gun, they've got to be all needing 3 more runs to fire. It's so close. And we're having the cracking final run that history demanded. Just the hope.
Yeah, that's true. They probably have a lot of pressure considering, like, they probably all knew that this was, like, the last one that wasn't going to be taking place. So, a lot of pressure going on, but you can see they've definitely got their head in the game. So, it's cool that they're really taking this seriously. As you can imagine, you can see they've definitely trained for this. But, yeah, it's cool to see that actually, like, it really means something to them.
Run remains. Just how dare I? And they wait at the home wall, through which everything this time must go. And Portsmouth have closed the gap. 0.6 of a second divides the two teams. They were faster on the run back, 59.81 to 1 minute 1:07. Still no penalty points. Everyone now poised for the last notes from bugler Jesse James, who will sound the ceasefire. And through the wall they go. And the gun is put together again. Away go Portsmouth, but Fleet have the slightly tighter turn, and I think they're going to do it. It's the axle to cross the line, and it does so now. It's over. They run down and wait for the official result. What a race.
Yeah, so that's pretty much wrapping it up for what they're doing. But again, you saw they did like 3 more rounds, and they like signaled like the ceasefire or whatever. So it's cool that they're staying to like the actual historical context as opposed to just making this something like crazy. But they're going to give their time here in a bit, so I'll just fast forward to that.
A youngster calls for more applause, and it's enough to take grown men close to tears. And the final running times, Portsmouth 2 minutes 46.68 seconds. The Fleet Aram 2 minutes 45.71. No seconds added for penalty points. The Fleet Aram have won the last run by 0.9 of a second.
Yeah, so you can imagine the level of precision that everyone is moving to the point where both teams were off by 0.9 seconds. Like, that's insane. Again, I don't know what to compare this to. I haven't done anything remotely like this. But the fact that, you know, they're that close, the teams are that close, like, it shows that there's only, like, so fast you can actually do all of this. I think the record was, like, 240 and some change. But, yeah, you can see that there's only so fast you can actually do something like this. And it's cool because you have to work as a team. Every person has their specific roles. So it needs to be, like, super well synchronized. So I can imagine they've probably practiced this, like, I don't know, over 100 times easily. But, yeah, it's mind-blowing. If you were in the Royal Navy and actually participated or, like, went to one of these or can give more context or anything, let me know because I think it's a cool tradition. It's a shame that they stopped it, but so for some people it might seem a little weird, and I haven't even heard about this until like a week ago. But it's really cool when people do, like, they make a tradition and they keep following up with it, and yeah, I don't know. It's cool to have this sort of competition and camaraderie, you know, built up for it, like something difficult that these people are actually working for. But yeah, again, if you guys have any context or any stories that relate to this, feel free to let me know. And again, if you have any other recommendations, I'd love to hear them because someone told me about the field gun competition. I Googled it, and you know, this came up, and yeah, it's not what I was expecting. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not really expecting, I'm not knowledgeable of, or like I've never even seen or heard of before. So it's always cool to see stuff like that. It always surprises me what other militaries are capable of doing and what kind of stuff they actually do as far as traditions and everything. But again, if you guys have any recommendations, feel free to send them my way. I'll probably try looking at some other militaries here in a bit, other guard units and whatnot. So yeah, just look forward to that. Again, I appreciate you guys supporting me. It's always good to see your guys' comments and your stories and your experiences. But yeah, keep it coming. And I'll try and keep the videos coming as often as I can. with this new move and everything. It's a little bit unpredictable, but I appreciate you guys sticking around. So I'll see y'all in the next video.